So today is a special day in my riding history. Would you believe this is the first time I've ever ridden this bike? And I couldn't be happier. Just a short little journey here. It's been awesome. So I'm going to take you along for a ride and I'm going to tell you what I think of it. Not in a review sense, because I am looking at possibly going up to a different bike. Let me show you what it is. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Road King Special 2021. It's got stage 1 Vance & Hines pipes, I think. It rides all right, totally different from my Sport Glide, I've got to say. But I tell you what, let's get on the road with it and have a bit of fun, give it a good old testing, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Is it going to be the bike for me? Lots of people have been saying it is. Lots of people have been sending photos of their Road Kings to me. Thank you very much. You know who you are. And I've got to say, there's a lot about this bike that is very, very appealing. To me, at least. To me. But let's get on the bike, shall we? That is a Road King Special. I'll tell you what, it's pretty special. I am surprised at that. I'm surprised at how good it makes you feel. Look at my face. Look at my face, and that should tell you everything, really. So I'm comparing it to the Sport Glide, right? So the Sport Glide, I knew within 5 minutes that was the bike for me, right? When I bought it. This, it took about 10 minutes to think, yeah, I could definitely cope with this. But there's a suspension issue, right? Compared to my Sport Glide, it is a bit, it's not as good. So you go around a bend and you can feel it kind of skipping around a little bit. Now you'd think for a big tourer, you think, oh no, it's gonna be really heavy. It doesn't feel that heavy, but I can feel it's heavier, but it doesn't feel that heavy. The steering is really light. And it's got a lovely balance. It goes to the bends and, you know, backwards and forwards. It took me a while to get used to all the kind of, because it's a mixture of digital and analog sort of displays. Like the fuel gauge is analog. I'll show you right there. And then you got your mode button here, there, which changes your digital display there. You know, so that's all right. I know it gives me what I wanted, RPMs and clock and, you know, selected gear and all that sort of stuff. The bags. Look, what I really like about this is the top loading. I love this top loading. It just makes life so much easier. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they call this the hot rod of the Harley Davidson world. And it kind of is, although it's heavy. Although it's a little bit labouring sometimes, it's definitely got that hot rod feel. My issue with it, it's not the handling, because I think it's pretty good. It's not the suspension, because I think it's adequate, but I think it could do with an upgrade, especially when I'm comparing it to my Sport Glide. It's actually not the power to weight ratio, because that's a 114 engine in there, and although it's a heavier bike, it's got oodles of power. Well, put it this way, certainly enough to twist it on and have a bit of fun, and I was having fun in there. It's definitely good in the bends, I'll tell you what, because I'm flicking it left and right, and I wouldn't say it's as nimble and as agile as my Sport Glide, but it's nimble and agile enough, definitely, and you can have lots of fun. And it's one of the bikes that you have to ride it. Although it's got lovely balance, lovely bit of counter steering, you know, in the bends, it just flicks the bike and holds it there. Beautiful. But as I keep on trying to tell people, this is not a review, this is me just spouting off and telling you what I think about the bike, because I am genuinely thinking about changing my bike or weighing up the options about upstaging or going to a tourer, and I'm trying out different tourers and what I like are different brands. And I thought I'd try the Harley Davidson Road King Special because I've never ridden it. I always wanted to, and I think always wanted to because it's the closest thing, I suppose, to the Sport Glide in the tourer lineup. Okay, but for me to get something like this, it would have to be used first of all, because I can't afford the new prices, and it would have to be already have an upstage on it, stage 1 minimum, but stage 2 preferably. And I'd have to change the aesthetics on it. So this big crash bar on here is awful. It just looks awful. I mean, look at the state of that. Now, there are different engine guards you can get, of course, but that is just one big... It looks like security fencing for me. It's just like some big tubular box. The other thing I'm not too keen on is the whole Road King headlight nacelle thing and the bareness here. For me, I prefer to have a handlebar rise and also a fairing, something like a Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing, or even just the tinted windscreen, something like that, something to break this up. But hey, I love the way it rides. I love the way it feels. I've got a smile on my face. I feel good about it. I know it's the kind of utility kind of bike that I would like, just like my Sport Glide with the boxes and everything, because I'm always carrying crap around with me. I really love these boxes. Look at that, just up you go, bosh, down you go, easy. I think I definitely have to get covers for the top, or put some vinyl tape over here, because they get scratched and scuffed straight away. I will say this, if you're a Road King rider, let us know your thoughts, but that side stand there, it seems a bit suspect. It didn't fill me with a lot of confidence. I tried to park it on a slight nose down, nose incline, and it seemed to want to roll forward. So let me know your thoughts on that. It seems to be, has to be on level ground, or, you know, wheel up, upslope as it were, but slightly downslope. I mean, even it wasn't a big downslope, it was, you know, just a very mild. The bike wanted to seem to roll forward, so you'd have to watch out for that, of course. I'm surprised because I've tried the Street Glide and I thought it was okay. I like the dials of the Street Glide up there, but I just thought you're missing too much of the road. Whereas this, you've got it all there in front of you. I just think a smaller fairing or a windscreen would break up the look of the front, and I've seen them out there and they look great. They look really, really nice. Out of the Tourers that I've tried so far, and they have been saying to me, you got to try the 117, either the Street Glide, Road Glide, or the Lowrider ST, the 117. Try that as well before I start making up my full mind. So maybe I will, maybe I'll try a few of those and see what I feel about it. But I know the Lowrider ST is going to be, you know, 117 oodles of power. It's going to be similar to mine, but obviously a lot better power, and it's going to have the Softail chassis with the suspension. It's going to ride a lot better. But if I'm going to go for a tourer, then this is the kind of bike that you probably want to go for me. And I can see why people rave about it if I'm going to go from a Softail, a Sport Glide, up to a tourer. But I don't want all the big fairing and the big audio system and all that kind of stuff. I know quite a few people have actually not downgraded, but changed from a Road Glide and a Street Glide, and they've just not stepped down, but stepped to this because it's just a much better feel for them, and it's a much better ride. Not only the Road King Special, but the Road King, like Road King Classic and stuff like that. They say it's a much better ride, a much better bike, much better usable bike, and I think this would be great for me. You know, I would say disguise that, because I say I really don't care for the nacelle, but everything else I like. So if you remember my other video when I did the BMW 1250 or R1250 RT ride and see what I thought of it, I was saying it kind of lacked a bit of personality. With this, you've got all the personality of the Harley Davidson there in space. Whether you like that or not, it's a totally different thing. But what I'm saying is it's there, and the idiosyncrasies and the suspension issues and the, you know, the way it rides, it's kind of, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I think probably if I could find one with a stage 2 already done, and even better, one with a suspension upgrade, or if I was going to put my money to it, it'll be a suspension upgrade rather than, you know, upstaging it to a stage 3 or stage 4 or something ridiculous like that. You know, sort out the handlebars a little bit, put a you know, a fairing on it, that's all, and then do the suspension. I think away I go. Anyway, I've harped on enough. Thanks to everybody who's been suggesting this, that I should try this for, God knows, for a couple of years now, and a couple of you have been sending photos and stuff like that, and really appreciate that, and thank you. Yeah, I can see it. I can see, you know, why it's so appealing, really. You know, it kind of ticks a lot of boxes for me. And you know, in terms of the way the engine sounds and the way the engine, I know it's a newer engine, it's only got 500 miles on it, but the engine purrs a lot nicer than mine. And I know the touring engines are slightly different, and the way they're mounted is slightly different as well, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, there is a different feel to it than on my Softail, on my Sport Glide. But it's a really nice sound with those pipes. It's a really nice feeling, and yeah, put a smile on my face. What more can you ask for? So with that smile on my face, I'm going to put the helmet back on and head on down the road. I've enjoyed it. That's all I can say. Catch you again in another video. I'm going to ride this a little bit more and have a bit more fun. Yeah, it's good. Ta-da.